Hi everyone, welcome back to Ponderosa North for the love of Bonanza. Today's kind of a fun day. I'm going to talk about fans, parades, and rodeos. Oh my! Oh my indeed. After putting in 14 to 16 hour days, 6 days a week, our guys still had time to do a lot of extracurricular activity, shall we say. None of these were under their NBC contract. These were all done on an individual basis by promoters and their agents. So I'm just going to start with fans. I got lots of pictures to show you here. And this article by Dana Blocker, Dan Blocker's daughter. And it gives you a little bit of an insight into his life as Hoss Cartwright. It was difficult for us to go public places since his size made it hard to disguise him. So many happy times revolved around the home, she says. He loved to cook on weekends and usually some kind of Mexican food accompanied by peppers and very hot sauce. He loved to swim. Here he is in his pool. He loved to swim and we spent many happy hours in our backyard pool with close friends. He also loved to travel, and although that often presented us with problems vis-a-vis the public, we had great fun on family trips. He was a very loving father who supported us in every way and was always interested in our current concerns and interests. You could tell him anything. I'm just going to go on a little bit because it's an interesting sort of insight into him and his co-stars. Dad and Mike were extremely funny together. They had lots of fun on the side and did indeed keep people laughing. They were not, however, close friends. They had great mutual respect on a professional level, but were very different politically and socially. She says, social contact with the cast members, Lauren Green and Pernell Roberts, were also limited. Yes, we saw them on set, and on occasion they have visited our home, but they were not particularly close to us socially. Of course, since Pernell left the show early on, I had more experience with Lauren and Mike, who both had great senses of humor, with Mike's being the wackier and zanier of the two. They were all very kind to us kids, and I don't think I had a favorite because we were all very, very fun in different ways. She also says she currently lives next door to Pernell Roberts. She says, I do see him occasionally, but no, we don't socialize. So that interview was in 2009, just before Pernell's death. So let's move on to, so you can see that traveling around, here's another picture of him in his backyard, just barbecuing with his family. So he really liked to lead a private life, but there were fans to consider, like me, and all kinds of people that went to see them. I'm just going to show you a bunch of pictures. Here's Pernell signing some autographs. And there's Mike and Pernell and Lauren at the bottom. That's with Chris Roberts with Pernell. Here's Mike signing some autographs. Everybody's so glad to see him. He seemed to be very accommodating. Here he was on vacation and giving the fans some selfies before selfies were selfies. Again, Pernell signing autographs. He seemed to take his son Chris a lot along on these events, opening, shopping centers and that kind of thing. They went to schools. And met the public in all kinds of places. They were very, very busy men. There's Hoss. Kids loved him. Actually, he had, his dynamic was all over the board. Everybody loved Dan Blocker. More family and friends. There's Chris Roberts again with Pernell. Another picture of Mike with some fans, and I think that's Johnny Crawford from The Rifleman. Telethons, here he is with, I think that's Jeff East, I'm not sure, from Dennis the Menace. I think Mike went back to his high school there and met some old friends. More kids, I think that's Dan's kids, Dan's boys, David and Dirk, not sure about that. And as they got older, here's Pernell with fans, very accommodating, with pictures with fans. Okay, let's move on to parades. So Lauren Green had quite a relationship with Betty White. They did the Thanksgiving Day parade for many years together. Here's Lauren looking very handsome by the side of the parade. And so he and Betty did a lot of work with the Thanksgiving parade. Here's another picture of them together. Color picture. And Mike too. Mike did, like I always say, I don't know where this guy found the time. There he is, grand marshaling some parade somewhere. Another picture of him in the same parade. All the fans out to see him. This was the Rose Bowl parade, which was quite something to get them all four together in a parade. Here's another one of Purnell. He's grand marshaling some parade somewhere. And again, they always wore their Cartwright costumes. That was how they were recognized. Here's another one in the Rose Bowl parade. But yes, and often, if they could, they got little Joe and they got Mike onto a Pinto. That even made him more recognizable. Again, Purnell with his son Chris. I guess it was summer vacation, and he could take Chris places. Lots and lots of parades. This looks like a candid picture. Somebody just took a snapshot. They didn't get a Pinto for him that time. And rodeos. Loads and loads of rodeos. Here's some ads for rodeos. They went everywhere. They were all over the place. And overseas as well. Here's Mike backstage at a rodeo. Again in his costume. Mike, Lauren and Dan seemed to work together and did skits, and they sang songs, and it seemed like Mike and Purnell went together. When Purnell left, Mike went out on his own, did a lot of, here's Mike and Purnell together doing their shtick. Another one. Got lots of pictures here today. And another one here. Yeah, so it seemed those two were together a lot. Lots of, believe this one, it was in Virginia City. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. And lots of presentations and things like that. Another one of Purnell and Mike together. And I love this picture of them on their horses, screaming along, meeting the fans. Look at them all. They're all out to see them. So I'm just going to read you this one other article. This is from the Eugene Register. And it's quite interesting. I believe it's dated August 4th, 1961. And the print is a little bit bitmapped here, so excuse me if I stumble a little bit. It says, Little Joe and Adam, tired and yawning, arrived for roundup. It says, just a few hours of sleep. That was the high priority requested of the 1961 Emerald Empire Roundup's two guest hosts when they arrived in Eugene. We haven't had any sleep for 2 nights, explained Mike Landon, the slim Little Joe Cartwright of NBC TV's show Bonanza. His video half-brother, Purnell Roberts, Adam Cartwright, immediately went up to the hotel room to put his 10-year-old son, Chris, to bed. So I'm saying, he brought Chris everywhere, it seems. The sun was just beginning to peek through the early morning clouds when the JC-driven black sedan, which brought the pair from the Portland International Airport, pulled up at Eugene Hotel. Both of the actors were sleepy-eyed as they tumbled or rumbled, the print is bad, from the back seat, stretched wearily and yawned. Robert's husky, 6 foot 1 inch, had a 2-day growth of dark beard on his face. But despite the fact that their Western clothing was travel rumpled, one didn't have to look twice to recognize them as the Cartwright boys, seen every Saturday night on television screen. The 5'11" inch Landon, they seem to be focused on the heights of these guys, had just finished a Bonanza episode before he came to Eugene. So, yes, it was very tiring for them, very taxing. I mean, that is quite a schedule to keep, doing an hour-long show and then doing these public appearances. But they rose to the occasion. What do they say? Make hay while the sun shines. So that's it for this episode. Thanks for joining me. See you next time. Bye.